No matter what you think of Jon Jones, he's the best ever, and he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Every UFC fan knows that inside the octagon, Jon Jones is probably the best to ever do it.
Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history!
But what makes him great is not only his skill, he can make adjustments on the fly, he does that very, very well, and his toughness.
And he might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC.
Do I think that he's the greatest of all time? I absolutely do.
But the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, "There is no great genius without a touch of madness." And Jon Jones is no exception.
Whoever breaks into Jon's house is fucked. He'll kill you.
A black man can't drink, getting elected into the Hall of Fame, and now this is what I got. I hate you.
Are you a good guy trying to be bad, or are you a bad guy trying to be good?
Albuquerque police believe he's the person who caused a 3-car accident Sunday morning, then ran from the scene.
Whether it's trying to fight the police, hit and run against a pregnant lady, or even domestic violence, Jon Jones has been arrested and had his mugshot taken on 5 separate occasions. This is every Jon Jones mugshot explained.
And it is all over! Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history! That, ladies and gentlemen, is the future. He is the present and he is the future, and he might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC.
Just 6 months after Jon Jones etched his name in the history books by becoming the youngest UFC champion of all time, Jones got himself another record. A criminal one. It was May 19th, 2012, just a few weeks after Jones's grudge match with his former training partner Rashad Evans, where Jones would get his first mugshot of many.
Jon Bones Jones was arrested and charged with a DWI early Saturday morning. Binghamton police received reports of a car crash into the corner of Grand Boulevard and Helen Street around 5 a.m. Saturday morning. Police told Action News that Jon Jones was on the scene and it was his 2012 Bentley that had crashed into a telephone pole at the corner.
The news shocked the MMA world.
I stay like, wow, a little bit sad, because Jon Jones is a really nice guy with me. He's really nice. I like him, and he's a really good talent in this sport,
Hearing the fact that he got a DUI and wrecked his Bentley was something that was a shock for me. You just wouldn't expect Johnny Jones to be doing that. There's tons of little kids that look up to him, and to see and hear that kind of stuff is just probably heartbreaking for a lot of those people. And I think you just got to be smart when you're doing stuff like that.
According to the police report, Jon was slurring his words, had bloodshot eyes, smelled of alcohol, and was even unsteady on his feet. Jones himself only suffered minor injuries, but it turned out he had 2 25-year-old female passengers in the car at the time. They were both transported to a local hospital with cuts, bruising, and swelling. Even Dana White was stunned.
I'm not involved in all the legal stuff that's going on with Jones, but yeah, he flew out a few nights ago and sat down with me and Lorenzo and talked. And I like Jon Jones. He's a good guy. He's a young kid. He made a mistake that night, and we'll see what happens.
In the end, he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of driving while intoxicated, was hit with a $1,000 fine, and had his license suspended for 6 months. Jones's reputation had taken a huge hit after that Bentley crash, but it was about to get even worse. It was early 2015, and every UFC fan couldn't wait for Jones's upcoming fight against his newfound enemy, Daniel Cormier.
Shut up.
You're an idiot.
Shut up.
You're an idiot. Yeah, it's money, huh? You're an idiot.
Ass.
No, you didn't. That goes to show your level of education that you count that as a fight.
I whooped your
Well, I'm glad
ass.
you won this one because you're not winning the next time I get my hand on.
I whooped your ass just now.
Okay.
I whooped your ass.
Okay, little boy.
Cormier was undefeated, had serious success up at heavyweight, and was a true threat to Jones's title reign. But just a month before the fight, Jones's dark side reared its head yet again, further damaging his reputation and putting the entire fight in jeopardy.
Jon Jones was tested out of competition on December 4th. When he was tested, he tested positive for cocaine.
He was fined $25,000 by the UFC, attended a rehab center in Albuquerque, but his time there didn't last long.
UFC champ Jon Jones said that he'd take his drug treatment program very seriously after testing positive for a cocaine metabolite in a December 4th drug test, but he never said for how long. Jones's mother, Camille, admitted Monday that her son left the rehab facility after just one night.
Jones claimed it was just a one-off mistake and that he didn't have a problem.
It was just a really embarrassing situation, and I had to explain to so many people that I'm not a cocaine addict by any means, or not even a frequent user. I just made a really dumb decision. Just really got caught my pants down in this whole situation.
Dumb decision or not, it would all be overshadowed in the coming weeks when Jones made another terrible decision. And this one would haunt him for life.
Hey, Vanessa. All right. Oh, you're okay. All right, so what happened?
I was going on the green light, going that way, and he was running the red light. I remember seeing him, and he kept going. He just hit me on my driver's side.
Police say the accident ignited a 3-car collision. The woman you just saw was the pregnant victim. Vanessa Sonnenberg, she suffered a broken arm.
Hours after the accident, Jones turned himself in to the police. According to the reports, Jon had run a red light in an SUV he was renting, crashed into another car, got out and ran. Although not before returning to his car to grab a handful of cash and stuffing it down his trousers. The pregnant lady suffered a broken arm, but ultimately both she and the unborn baby were fine. Had they not been though, it's very likely Jon Jones would be behind bars and his career would be over.
The pregnant woman who was hit says she couldn't believe it.
I kind of freaked out, and I was just more upset, that he couldn't at least stayed and at least said, "I'm sorry" or something.
Jon was arrested after documents in the vehicle linked back to him, but he was released after posting his $2,500 bail. With the news spreading like wildfire, the UFC had no choice but to punish their superstar in the toughest way possible.
We just found out what the facts are, and now we fly home and figure out what's next.
But late tonight, White's company dropped a bombshell. Effective immediately, Jones is stripped of his light heavyweight title and is suspended indefinitely.
A few months later in court, Jones pled guilty to fleeing the scene. And now it was the judge's turn to discipline him.
So without an adjudication of guilt, I grant the conditional discharge as required by the plea agreement. Defendant will be placed on supervised probation for 18 months. I'm going to make that for up to 18 months.
Alongside the probation, Jon was ordered to complete 72 speaking appearances to the younger people of New Mexico. On his way out of court, the judge said Jon had gotten very lucky. He added that if Jon could complete his probation without incident, he wouldn't get a felony conviction.
That is the worst case scenario, pregnant woman.
Oh, yeah, it makes me look like a monster.
When you found out I was a pregnant woman, what was going through your mind?
I thought, man, I'm done. First, I was afraid that there would be some type of problems with her baby. God forbid if she was to have a miscarriage. I thought about the fact that I went from just partying and enjoying this career and this amazing fairy tale life. I thought I was going from that to literally being in jail, being labeled as a murderer.
But just a matter of months later, well, let's say there was another incident.
Mr. Jones, we're not having court out here.
Do I have
a court date? And you
do I have that right to talk?
You do have that right to talk, and you can tell us in court.
Let me talk. Okay?
Go ahead.
That is Jon Jones after being given 5 different traffic citations, including drag racing, weaving, and failing to properly display his registration. The officer that evening actually let Jon go. But don't forget, Jon Jones was still on probation from the hit and run. And the judge who put Jon on that probation believed this incident was strong enough to violate it.
Jon Bones Jones turned himself in this morning. He was arrested and booked into MDC, mugshot and all, charged with violating his probation.
For breaking his probation, Jon faced another court case and a real threat of jail time. But in the end, Jon accepted a plea deal and admitted guilt to unlawful exhibition driving and improper display of registration. with the remaining 3 citations all being dropped.
The agreement is 1, is to complete a driver improvement course, 2, enroll in an anger management course, 3, complete 60 additional hours of community service within 3 months. And then the state is also asking for a curfew. The defense wishes to argue whether the curfew should be enforced. The state does believe it should be enforced. We'll give our reasons later. But those are the 4 conditions that the state's asking for at this time.
On the way out, the judge warned Jones that if he ever comes back to court, it won't end well for him. And those words must have resonated with Jon, because for the next few years, he actually kept himself out of handcuffs. Of course, in that time, he still failed USADA tests, had accusations of battery at a strip club, and got his UFC title taken away for a second time. But 4 years later, Jon had his 4th arrest, 4th mugshot, and this time, a firearm was involved.
Jason, I'm just going for a drive, man.
Okay, you're going for a drive?
Yes, sir.
Turn the car off, please. Need your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance. Did you just hear a gunshot?
I did it.
You did hear one?
Yeah, I did.
Where'd it come from?
Who knows?
Let me look under the seat real quick. I'm gonna get in there. What's what, Debbie? Oh, there it is.
What is it?
Handgun. Oh, jeez.
In the early hours of March 26, 2020, a policeman heard a single gunshot and rushed to the general direction. When he got there, he found Jon Jones in a vehicle who already knew the police officer on a first-name basis.
Hey, Jason.
Hello, sir. Officer Brown, Albuquerque Police. Did you just hear a gunshot?
I did it.
You did hear one?
Yeah, I did.
Where'd it come from?
Who knows? Jason, I'm just going for a drive, man.
Okay, so why are you sitting here with the car running? You're going for a drive?
Yes, sir.
Turn the car off, please. Need your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance.
When breathalyzed, Jon was twice over the legal limit, with a half-empty bottle of liquor in the car. The police then located a handgun under the driver's seat.
Let me look under the seat real quick. I'm gonna get in there. What's what, Debbie? Oh, there it is.
What is it?
Handgun. Oh, jeez.
They then found a used bullet close to Jon's vehicle, all but confirming he was the one to fire that shot that echoed in downtown Albuquerque. He was arrested at the scene and taken to the county jail, taking his mugshot tally up to 4.
Now, the charges against Jon Jones are aggravated DWI, as well as negligent use of a firearm, possession of an open container, and driving with no proof of insurance.
But when the court case rolled around, Jon dodged jail time yet again. He accepted a plea deal to admit guilt of DWI, but all the other charges were dropped. In return, Jon was sentenced to 4 days of house arrest, 1 year supervised probation, 90 days of therapy, and 48 hours of community service. And while he made it through the year of probation without getting in trouble, it didn't take long for Jon Jones to be caught up in perhaps his most embarrassing arrest.
I got the Hall of Fame tonight, and then you're gonna put me on this. You f***ing nerd. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. You f***ing nerd. I hate you so much.
It was September 2021 in Las Vegas, the very same evening that his legendary fight with Alexander Gustafsson was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. And after the ceremony, Jones was caught by police on the Las Vegas Strip, acting incredibly strange and emotional.
What did I do? I'm a prison officers. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. You nerd. I hate you so much.
But prior to this, police were called to the Caesars Palace Hotel after Jon's daughter asked security for help. According to the official report, Jones had allegedly assaulted his fiancée after arriving back from an evening out. Police claimed that Jones's fiancée had blood all over her clothing with a cut on her lip. Jones had tried to flee the hotel when police found him on the streets of Vegas and made an arrest, although it was far from easy.
What did I do? I'm in prison officers. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. No, please don't. The car. Okay, yeah. Breathe, bro.
Jones denied getting physical with his partner, instead claiming a verbal altercation started after he returned to the hotel room to grab $10,000 in cash to take to a strip club of all places. In the end, he was charged with 1 count of domestic battery that his partner eventually dropped, a misdemeanor and 1 count of tampering with a police vehicle. And although that was the last of Jon Jones's mugshot collection, there's still been plenty of drama in the years since. Hopefully for Jon, the UFC, and Dana White, that's the last of it.